channel. My name is Tobias, and today we're going to look at the permutation formula. So generally we have this formula which says the permutation of n choose r. We would say n factorial over n minus r factorial. So let's see this formula used in some examples. So example 1. Let's say we want to find out what the permutation of 5 choose 3 is. And then we just put into our formula up here. So 5 is our n, so we say 5 factorial in the numerator, and we say 5 minus 3 because n minus r factorial in the denominator. So that would be putting into the formula, and if we want to calculate it, I've done it down here. So 5 factorial would be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and 5 minus 3 equals 2 factorial, so that would be 2 times 1. And we look at the numbers that are equal here, and we let them go, and we're left with the black numbers here, 5 times 4 times 3. So these are the numbers we're left with. The fraction disappears, and now we've got 60 different ways of choosing 3 out of 5 and putting them in an order. So that was the first example. Let's see the next one. So that's 14, the permutation of 14 choose 8. We put into our formula up here, and if we would like to calculate it, we would say 14 factorial, that's 14 times 13 times 12 and all the way down to 1. 14 minus 8, that equals 6 factorial, so 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Once again, we look at all the numbers that are equal, we let them go, and we are left with just the black numbers up here. So from 14 down to 7. And I needed a calculator on my computer to calculate this. So we've got 121 million and some ways of choosing 8 out of 14 elements and putting them in a specific order. So that is what we use the permutation for, if the order in which they come, these elements, is important to us. So that was a way of calculating it if you would have to do it by hand, and then of course maybe later with a calculator or computer. Now we take example 3. So the permutation of 6 choose 0. We put into our formula, and we can see that 6 factorial over or divided by 6 minus 0, and that's of course 6 factorial. And if we've got the same expression in our numerator and denominator, then that fraction will always equal 1. So it's the same up here and down here, so that's 1. So example 4, if we say the permutation of 6 choose 6, once again we put into our formula, and we can see that 6 factorial stays up here, and 6 minus 6 equals 0, so that would be this calculation down here if we would like to calculate it. This was just for putting into the formula. And 0 factorial equals 1, that's a special case, so 6 factorial divided by 1, that's just 6 factorial, and that would be like 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and if you use your calculator you would get 720 ways of taking out 6 elements out of 6 elements and putting them in a specific order. So that was example 4, the last one in this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.